Ambassador Professor Kostarik Mahalu, the Vice Chancellor, all invited guests, speakers, and protocol observed, good afternoon. I think my assignment, what is given, is needs to be neutral and to tell the truth by being a neutral person. Therefore, my topic, I'm not talking about one or the other religion, but I'm talking about religions. Religious tolerance and a peacekeeping amidst religion's multiplicity in the society. In this presentation, I will give a brief introduction followed by facts about the world and religion, then the concept of religious tolerance, the relation between religion and society, dialogue, and the role of education in building a better society, the last recommendation, and a way forward. Let me be clear from the beginning. When I'm talking about religions, I am not talking about the practical. I am talking, let me say it again, let me be clear from the beginning that when I am talking about religions, I am talking about the practical manifestations of religions, not a theoretical. The second point, I don't like to use the word non-believer, because how can you say someone is non-believer because he or she doesn't believe in what you believe? Because he or she believes, but not what you believe in. Therefore, saying non-believer, I don't accept. That is a wrong concept. That is a dictatorship concept. The world is the birthplace of many faiths and has accommodated and nourished multiple religions. It has provided a common roof to major religions for their sustenance and growth. Some of religions are as follows. There are different traditional religions. To mention one only, African traditional religion. Exists African traditional religion. Whether you like it or not, it exists. More other religions includes Hinduism, Taoism, Confucianism, Jainism, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Judaism, Christianity, Shinto, Islam, Sikhism, Bahaism, Rastafarianism. It is enough for today. We have to understand that in our world exist different religions. Therefore, why should we be totally right and everyone else wrong? What is so special about the way we do things to ignore others? When we respond to these questions with an open mind, we may come to realize that perhaps there are things to learn from others' way of looking at the world. Facts about the world and religions. Allow me briefly to make clear some words that is used when we are talking about religion. The first word, we say belief. Belief is an abstract notion about what is true. The second is faith. Faith is a complete trust and a confidence in someone or something. I'm giving only short definitions. The third is spirituality. Spirituality is about one's soul and inner self. Being spiritual involves holding one's personal set of beliefs and practice and searching for the purpose of life, which makes the theory reality. Now, what does it mean, religion? Briefly, religion is a specific system of beliefs and or worship, often involves a code of ethics and philosophy. Therefore, belief is a state of the mind when we consider something true. Everybody has a belief about life and the world they experience. Mutual supportive beliefs may form belief system, which may be religious. Religious are belief systems that relate humanity to spirituality. Underline humanity to spirituality. Therefore, the key concept is spirituality, not religion as is. Religion without spirituality is nothing almost as a normal culture. Spirituality is an experience of connection to something larger than you, living everyday life in a reverent and sacred manner. A major difference between religion and spirituality is religion is believing, spirituality is being, living. Many human societies have left us historical evidence of their system of belief, whether it was worshipping of the sun, of God and gods, knowledge of good and evil, or sacred. Therefore, religion have an influence on our identity, regardless of whether we consider ourselves religious or spirituality or not. At the same time, our approach to other religions and groups consider different. As a social structure, they provide a supportive network and sense of belonging. Despite its intensity, influence, and magnitude worldwide, the concept of religion is multi-faceted. Commonly, religion is distinguished between two basic perspectives. First, substantive approach, which focus on the different elements that constitute religion, on what religion is. Secondly, functionalist approach, which emphasizes on the social, cultural consequence of religion. what religion does for a social group or an individual. This can be seen from a normative, identity, and organizational structure. Religion as a normative system. Religious faiths are comprised of a number of dogmas that constitute normative systems, which, when one accepts, serves as a directive for how each individual should live her or his life. Concerning normative, a flexible, open normative system is friendly towards external impulse than a dogmatic normative system, which appears relatively inflexible towards other belief systems. The cancer of the religions, instead of flexible, it's become a dogmatic normative principle. Religion as identity. Religious belief systems have a particular identity forming potential. Religion is social, offering the individual a belonging to a community of fellow believers. Religion is a compass, or for the individual as well as the religious community, locating all believers in an extended ontological setting. Religious identities are, in principle, inclusive or exclusive. Organizational structure. Religions have a social dimension, bringing together people of the same faith. The structure of religious organization may vary enormously from being strictly hierarchical with a clear lines of authority to flat network with no defined leadership. Religious norms, identity, and organizations undergo constant change, both as a result of internal process and in response to the development in the conflict setting. Now, when we are talking about religion, what is the key teaching of different religions? I will mention 11 religions. I want to block that most of the time we think exists only one or two religions, we ignore others. Now, love is the center of all teaching. Allow me in very brief way to present these 11 religions. First, Christianity. It is a love that found between neighbors, friends, family, and demonstrate to strangers. Love is for between neighbors, friends, family, and strangers. And agape is a divine love, according to Christianity, the key teaching. Judaism, the fundamental form of love are the love of God, neighbor, and strangers. Islam. Islamic sacred texts describe two major forms of love, one being divine love and the other love to all creation of God. Buddhism. Buddhism has four elements of what is considered to be true love: act of kindness, compassionate love, joy, and acceptance, and non-discrimination. Sikhism, love for the Lord and his creation. Bahaism, love all human regardless of religion, race, or community, and also should love their enemies. Hinduism. One gives up selfless in love, not expecting anything in return. Sikhism. Love means love for the Lord and His creation. Jainism. According to Jainism, the highest form of love are non-violence, sociability, compassion, peaceful coexistence. Shintoism emphasizes love of nature. Things of nature are regarded as sacred, worshipped as such. Rastafarianism, love and peace, to respect the human being. Now, from all religions, we see that human being will have to learn the art of living together with the nature, with the other living beings of plants and animals, and also with the people of different civilization, culture, and social background. We are in the era of technological advancement. Now the problem comes, where the distance between a different part of the world has been bridged to the fast communication system. Therefore, we need to respond accordingly to avoid any ideological or otherwise clashes. We need to accommodate and accept of people of different background, different religion, and their adherent is one of the prerequisites for the coexistence of the people of diversified religion followers. We are living in a pluralistic world, confronted with supermarket of ideas. When you go supermarket, you'll find a lot of things. The ideas also, like you go supermarket, there is a lot of ideas, religious and ideologies. The variety of ideology, particularly religious ideologies and belief, poses problem for us when any one of them is regarded as, underline this one, as the supreme and absolute truth. And the rest of them are considered to be of non-use. Now the problem is here. When one regards as the supreme and absolute truth, and the rest of them are considered to be of no use. If the past centuries religious exclusiveness caused enough suffering locally, but today clashes between religions have a global prerequisite. Now, let me talk religion tolerance. In this globalized world, the pragmatic need for us is to work for and to establish communication with people who do not share our belief and whose view of the world and the religious ideologies is different. The purpose of this communication is to understand others' standpoint for the removal of fear and hatred. If you are hating one religion, you are not hating the religion, but the image of the religion, what you have inside, you hate. Means the problem is with you, not with other religion. The problem remain with you, not with any other person. Therefore, be free from hatred to live peaceful. This liberal approach and religious approach and feeling towards other religions group is termed as religious tolerance and is considered to be a pragmatic approach for coping with the multiple religious pluralistic society for our modern world. The issue of religious tolerance gains importance and concerns with the emergence of multi-religious society. Importance is attached to the issue because for various reasons almost any deliberation on the issue of religious tolerance is also based on the theory that religion is not only an integral aspect of our life and society, but also has a wide range impact on them. The conflict is basically rooted in the attitude or beliefs of exclusive outlook, where one individual or religious group pursue their claims to have a vision of absolute truth or to be in possession of unique revelation embodied in a single scripture or system. We cannot possess. If we say we possess the truth, means we are saying that we are above God. That is the problem. Therefore, no one possesses the truth. The truth is the God. Every religion believes in this way. We are in the era of heightened tension, too, because the pluralistic mentality requires looking at each individual religion as part of a spiritual mosaic rather than as absolute truth in itself. Intolerance, now I'm talking the opposite of tolerance. Intolerance is an unwillingness to accept the views, means to be fundamentalist or rigid or narrow-minded. Beliefs or behavior that differs from one person to another. In simple words, intolerance is just something by which a person is not capable of handling the situation, words or any type of conduct which is against him or her. Religious intolerance is an act of denying the right of people of another religion faith to practice and express their belief freely. Religious tolerance is the belief that all religion is equally valid within their own culture of origin. Religious tolerance is a human right issue, extending religious freedom or people of all faiths and tradition without any discrimination. Understanding the history of other culture allows one to appreciate how similar experience lead to different conceptual systems. If each group can dig deep down into its own shared values and find something common to bind them together, then the world indeed be excellent. Tolerance is not a question of knowledge, conscience, or deep personal convictions, but it is a rooted in human dignity. We can have different opinions, yet accept other person as an individual. Tolerance and love are two sides of the same coin. Now, what is the relationship between religion and social life? In those days, what they call it primitive democracy, we had no computer, internet, smartphone, television, etc. Gradually, the knowledge streams, invention, innovation, atmospheres coming up. The world gathers esteem as part of human evolution in hunt for excellence. The question now, if all this technology is developing, moving, the question is, are our ethical and human value improving? Whatever you say, I will say. The answer is a capital big no. While technologically developing human sense, we are dying. Ethical human value is dying. The root and rot we see in our century is similar to evil cancer. It has cultivated insufficiency, corruption, nepotism, superficial, at times rude or crude way of social interactions. It has spread fast. The result is religion lost its value and shifted to the ritual things, not spiritual issue. Instead of living the love, become ritual issue only. Even now, the strange thing is, I want to underline, is even education system, which it is the main area for nation building, did not get enough concentration on education of the heart and love as the way of traditional education system. Our education system nearly remains on theoretical issues only. We talk about others, but we don't talk about ourselves. Now, dialogue, in order to recover the values that is almost lost, it is necessary to establish a ground for mutual understanding, negotiation, and tolerance on the border of religious, language, and ethnicity. In this regard, it should be underlined that democracy is very important in protecting and improving secularism in the pluralistic society. No dialogue can be conducted if there is no respect for human rights, rule of law, democratic principle, and spiritual values. Not only secular ideology, but also religious ideology is a goal of life in a cultural, diversified world. The question is it possible to separate religious and politics? Yes and no. When we are talking about organizational issue, yes, it is possible. But when are we talking about the core issue of religious, which is living the love of their God, respect the human person cannot be separate. And if we separate, this becomes hypocrite. Here, I want to give example of the Abdul Karim. What he said, he is a politician. He's a politician. He's a Muslim. He was the president of India, and he's following as a spiritual leader, guru of Hindu. He said, spirituality is the key to successful political engagement and development. Politicians who are not guided by the truth and the righteousness will not deliver their promises or even their political manifestation in the interest of the citizen. He is the 11th president of India, an Indian aerospace scientist, and a Muslim person. Nowadays, it's difficult to understand these things by many people. It's difficult because we are ideologically driven. We talk about the mind and ignore the heart. First of all, religion plays a central role on the basic human morals, not on ritual issues. When we are talking about the core objective of religion, which is love. If no love, no peace. True separation of religions and the state is nearly impossible. Political beliefs are essentially made up of religious beliefs. Laws and court rulings determining what is right and what is wrong. The groundwork of the basic civility embodies that of religious ideology. To recover the human values that we are losing, all the religions have to improve their dialogue. Not only theological dialogue, but first of all, life dialogue, which is very easy to the laity, very easy to the follower, very difficult to the leader. The argument has been that there is a need to urgently move through the dialogue of mind, dialogue of life, and dialogue of hearts. Let me take the last topic, education to build better citizens. Coming back to the philosophy of education, I see as far as practical science is concerned that the relation between religion and the philosophy of education is in a strengthening of values. By religion and the philosophy of education, I don't mean a particular philosophy of education based on particular religion. I am not suggesting that kind of philosophy. I am suggesting that the philosophy of education, as far as religion is concerned, can be supported and strengthened by religion in the sense of cementing universal values. Education needs religion to give them values because our education system is dehumanized by the Western country. We copy the dehumanized and we are transferring dehumanized, abandoning our traditional education system that teaches us about to live as a human being. If you use religion as a sealant, it is stronger than irreligion. I didn't say non-believer. The opposite of religion, irreligion. Those values can be better strengthened by religion than by irreligion. Religion considers the fundamental human values as being created by God. Irreligion considers this as a creation of humans. If you consider those values as a human creation, then it will be difficult to have a sacred attitude toward these values. If the values are considered a creation of human throughout history, then it will not have that powerful an influence as the value will be considered as a created entity, not above human interest. In other words, the religion's approach to common universal value has a stronger cementing force. It is because of this, I think, that the philosophy of education has to seek the support of religion to obtain this cementing force. In this century, the world is facing all sorts of problems, such as poverty, corruption, war, crime, unethical life, dehumanization, etc. These problems we are facing now are in the era of irreligion. This is the stage of the United Nations. This is the age of the United Nations. The age of the human rights. They are talking a lot about the human rights. The age of the French Revolution. It is during this age that we had 2 world wars that have had the weapons of mass destruction used on the people. We have all sorts of instability. We have all sorts of terrible problems precisely during this age of secular humanism, where international organizations are controlled by secular humanism. Also, we are talking about environmental pollution. But the question is, who is the source of this problem? And who is the responsible to solve them? Obviously, the answer is a human being is responsible. A human being has to correct this problem by being a responsible person and thinking for the future generation. But now, the big problem is that the human being is polluted by unethical values. Now the problem is how the human being can solve. We are talking environmental pollution, but the mind of the human being is polluted already by unethical value, polluted by egoism, polluted by corruption. Therefore, how a human being is capable to solve the problem while our mind is already polluted? First, and instead of talking environmental issue, let's clear from our mind from the pollution. With the current education system, the higher education cannot give a solution, because the higher education itself is polluted. The education system does not give priority concerning the sense of humanity, but it concentrated on the polluted theories. Comparing the past century, our century has more academia, more educated people. But concerning the value of human being, the disastrous century is our century, which is validating the same-sex marriage. The past century never validated, but the educated people, they validated. Therefore, there is a problem, which means our sense of humanity is polluted by unethical values and do not respect the nature of human being. Therefore, how can we discuss about environmental pollution without cleaning human nature pollution, without cleaning our unethical pollution? To solve these problems, all the religions has to go back to their original, I say that, to go back to their original sense of belief and living according to it, which its foundation is love for human being and God. The worker of higher education has to work according to the value of religion, which is respect the human being. Every education system has to respect the value of human being. Now, in conclusion, in order to develop the feeling of tolerance, one has to get rid from narrow and compartmentalized belief and attitude. This is possible only when we develop the feeling of friendliness and adopt liberal approach towards the feeling and beliefs of the follower of other religion. If we try to develop the feeling of friendliness in the children, it will have a remarkable impact over the period of time. I want to mention one. When the children, they were singing, I was looking their face. I was impressed by one small child, the one who was holding microphone. Her face was different from others. She was closing her eyes and she went spiritually in another world. What she's pronouncing, she was reflecting. The small one, the one who sit down, Mudmai, what she was pronouncing, she's reflecting. Therefore, we have to cultivate the children like that. One of the major reasons for the rise of religion's intolerance is the ignorance about the belief system. There is religious intolerance because of ignorance, values and ideology of others. Family, religious worshiping place, educational institution, and the social media have to play a significant role in developing the liberal and friendly approach towards the religious beliefs and the culture of the follower of other religion in a multi-religious society. Humanity is all one, with love being at the core of everyone's being. Despite any possible ideology differences, all humans are the same consciousness. They are just expressed in a different ways. Because every human essence is the same, it means that any difference are superficial. This understanding invites people to be inspired to embrace each other and to support each other on the path to the enlightenment together. Now, my recommendation. There is a need to have Interreligious Dialogue Center for the sake of human value. There is an urgent need to inform the young generation to engage positively with the ethnic and religious diversity that is their heritage. We have to teach and learn. I said we have to teach and learn more in religious diversity and intercultural education. This type of workshop is of a great importance because education is one of the most important spheres of life where stereotypes and prejudice can be counter-reacted. We have to make a religious differences a factor of cultural enrichment instead of being a source of confrontation, especially through the lens of mutual understanding, tolerance, and acceptance of difference. At the end, I want to conclude with the word of Confucius, the founder of Confucianism. He said, I would like to conclude, if there is righteous in the heart, there will be a beauty in the character. If there is a beauty in the character, there will be harmony at home. If there is harmony at home, there will be order in the nation. If there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. I want to repeat this one, the important issue. If there is righteousness in the heart, means the key place is heart, where is love. If there is no love, everything collapses. Whatever, you may go to the church, you may go to the mosque, you may go wherever. We may go to where the Rastafarians they pray, we may go to the temple, where there is no love, no peace. If you don't work on love, all what you are doing, it is killing your time. There will be a beauty in the character. If there is a beauty in the character, there will be harmony at home. If there is harmony at home, there will be order in the nation. If there is order in the nation, peace in the world. I conclude saying that let love govern us. Love help us to teach. Love guide us. Let's live love. Thank you very much.